Alright, back out here with this Honda XR100R. As you can see, the motor's out. I wanted to try to avoid that, but I should have known with as much as I need to do to the top end and as little room as there is in there, I was going to have to take it apart anyway. So I got the motor over here. You can kind of see the piston. I got a little oil on top of there because I poured some gas in there to see if it was going to leak out, and it didn't leak out around the rings. So I went ahead and put some gas in there or some oil back in there to re-lubricate it. But you can see right there on top of the piston, there's an exhaust valve mark and there's an intake valve mark over there. I don't know a whole lot about them, but I'm probably gonna have to replace that. I mean, it doesn't look cracked or anything. It just looks marked up from that. So I'm gonna try to avoid replacing that if I can for now. But if I have to, I will. So then back to the cylinder head, which was the main reason I took it apart to do this exhaust valve. And I already did kind of a leak down test with poured a little bit of gas in here, and it immediately ran out the exhaust just like I assumed. So definitely have to replace that. The intake was fine, it didn't leak a bit, and it actually looks really good. Even after looking at that piston where it hit, I don't see anywhere on this that it hit, so this may have been replaced since then. But yeah, the exhaust valve is definitely pretty cruddy. So definitely going to replace that. I got the new ones in here somewhere. But over here I'll show you another spot I'm going to have to replace. This is my cam gear off the chain. You can see it's just completely ate up. And it's almost like razorback teeth the way they are, and I know it's not supposed to be like that. You can kind of see on this side here, see that half circle there? That's where the timing chain came off. And at one point it's kind of scarred it up. I don't know if it ended up popping back on or somebody just took it apart and put it back on or what. But the chain itself, I'm sure it's probably stretched a little bit after some kind of catastrophic thing like that happening. But I really don't want to have to replace it right now. I mean, I could later on. It's only a $30 chain. This is a $24 thing. I'm going to replace this, but I'm going to try to hold off on the chain because the chain doesn't look damaged at all. I mean, it's probably stretched, and you can't tell just by looking at it that it's stretched, but it probably is a little bit. So I'm going to try to avoid doing that for now. Also going to avoid doing the piston like I said. So I'm just going to go ahead and do what I was going to do, the exhaust valve. Order up this gear here. This is only 24 bucks. And it's definitely going to have to be replaced, or else I'm going to have a chain slipping off like somebody had here. Come right off. And this is probably where some of the little bit of metal came from. When I took the cam out on the other side of that cylinder head, the journal where the cam sits, it had a little bit of fine metal in it. It didn't scar up the journal or anything. I mean, it was so fine, I guess, that it kind of just sat in there. But it didn't scar it up from what I can tell. I didn't get out any micrometers or anything. But from what I can tell, it didn't hurt it or anything. Just this gear is ate up. So, and somebody may have ended up putting a new timing chain on it and not even replaced this gear. I don't know. So that's where I'm at now. I got quite a few more parts in. I'm not sure what I got. I can't think right now. But oh, well, here's some of it here. I got all this hardware in. Chain guard there. Got a tank strap in here that I needed. All kinds of miscellaneous hardware. A lot of it, man, I couldn't believe how much of this I actually needed. And it ended up having one of these adjusters in there like this that I needed. I said was rusted out, so I got one of them right out of that pile. All kinds of stuff in there. So let's see, what else did I order up? Oh yeah, I got some new pegs here. These were pretty bent up, so I ordered these new ones up here, and they fit nice. And they're actually a little bit bigger than the originals, so they'll be a little bit better for me. These were the originals. just ugly. You can see the size difference, so it'll be a little bit better for me since I'm a little bit bigger. Have a lot more foot room. Put my foot on without sliding off. So I got new hand grips on there. I got the new guard on there. Got the stop switch. The stop switch I found out's in the wrong spot. I need to put it right there, which is why I never tightened it up. So I'm going to have to move the stop switch to there. Pretty much, other than putting that new exhaust valve in, I'm ready to rock, and I'll have to order up this gear here, get that ordered up. So I'm definitely going to have that, because it's going to put more metal into my engine if I don't replace it. So I don't want that. But $24 it's worth doing. So, and it's almost like somebody tightened it too tight, didn't do anything to spec because how this groove is and where this bolt was. I mean, I'm sure they're supposed to be pretty tight, but I don't think you're supposed to be mashing in the metal like that. So that's that. I was using this to take it apart, and it helps a lot, you know, so you know what you're doing in order, and when you go back to put it together, you're going to know what you need to do in order. So that helped a lot with that service manual I found, and I actually got that for free. I didn't have to pay for it. I just found it on a site that you can download stuff from, manuals and that kind of thing. So if anybody needs the manual for this XR100, and I think that it does the XR80, of course, and it does it all the way to like 90, I think it's like 98 to 2003 or something it covers, and maybe even back a little farther. So if anybody wants that, it's in PDF form, so you can open it up with Adobe Reader and print it out, whatever you got to do. It's got everything there, so if you want it, just send me a personal message on YouTube, and I can email the PDF to you. That way you got it. But anyway, I was saying it wasn't as, I was looking at this like it was going to be some huge chore to get this out, and really it wasn't. It wasn't bad at all, just pulling that out, you know. So I think it's going to go back together just as easy once I get that exhaust valve replaced. And like that hardware I ordered, I got this spacer in here too, and this goes right up here on this bolt mount right there, and it goes through your engine, and this spacer spaces out between your engine, and there's supposed to be another little one there. I didn't get that one in my hardware package that I ordered, but I got this one, so that was a bonus because I didn't know it was in there just by looking at the picture. So I got that, you know, I got that whole hardware package for 24 bucks, and it had quite a bit of stuff in there I needed, and I'm going to have quite a bit of extra bolts. So definitely look for a hardware package if you're needing as much hardware as I was needing. You can look for that on eBay. You know, a lot of people throw them up there. Like I bought one for an 03, but it's pretty well the same. Like I said, this manual covers from, you know, 98 up to 03 or so. So it covered pretty much everything I needed. Other than that, I'll get this back together once I find somebody to help me get that exhaust valve out. My buddy's going to help me. We don't have a spring compressor, but he said he used to do it on cars with just, you know, a little tool. You could push the spring down and pop the cotter off. So he said with that small of a piston, look how small that is. I mean, that's just itty bitty. That's like a $50 size piston that goes in that thing. So I think we can just pop that exhaust valve cotter pin off, or whatever it's called on the top, that keeper, and replace that fairly easily without the compression, the spring compressor. Other than that, I mean, I just putting it together little by little and doing what I can. So definitely going to get that replaced soon. So stay tuned, and I'll put up some more videos.